There are few things that make us collectively happy like seeing a bunch of puppies, and few things that sadden people more than animal cruelty. A 2011 law that regulates commercial dog breeders in Texas is up for review later this week and could be taken off the books. Joining us now to talk more about that is Shelby Bobosky, Executive Director of the Texas Humane Legislation Network. Good morning, Shelby. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yours was one of the groups that lobbied for the Texas Licensed Breeder Program when it was passed in 2011. So take us back to what led to that law.
I was a volunteer, and I had been with the Texas Humane Legislation Network for about 2 years. And so you understand, in 2009 in Texas, in Kaufman County, about 20 minutes from Dallas, there was a seizure of over 500 dogs from one breeding facility. And I was an attorney practicing law, and I saw this. I could not believe it. And there's nothing like going into the quintessential puppy mill and seeing what these dogs are living through. The smell of the pneumonia, the puppies, the urine, the feces, everything, the closed quarters. It's unreal to see what these dogs actually survive through. And when I saw that, I thought, how on earth is this legal that you can have 500 dogs and there's no checks or balances? So I started to get involved with THLN as a volunteer back then. Then in 2011, get this, when the bill was going through the legislative process, that same breeder had amassed within 2 years over 70 dogs. So she had gone from having 500 dogs taken from her, seized from her, and then she went within 2 years, she had already amassed 70 dogs. And that's when I really just became convinced that you can effectuate change through laws for thousands of animals at a time. And so that's when I really got involved. And yes, in 2011, that's when the breeder program was enacted.
And what do you make of the fact that the Texas Sunset Commission staff recommended abolishing the program?
They did. They made a recommendation to get rid of the Texas Licensed Breeder Program. However, we find some of the language that they use to argue to get rid of it pretty circular, in the sense that, you have to have, let's look at the definition of a licensed breeder in the state of Texas. You have to have 11 breeding females, and you have to sell 20 dogs or cats, puppies or kittens a year. That standard is the highest standard in the United States for all of the states who regulate large-scale breeding facilities. Number one, 11 breeding females. Think of how many puppies that produces a year. Many of the other states have 3 or 4, that you have to have 3 or 4 breeding females. And in fact, the USDA only requires 5. So in Texas, you have to have 11. Think of the high threshold that standard requires. In addition to that, you have to sell 20 dogs or cats a year. Imagine how hard that is to prove for a TDLR inspector. How do you prove sales? A majority of these are done with money. So some of the arguments within the staff's recommendation is that there's not enough people in this program, precisely because the standard is so high. If we can lower that amount of 11 breeding females and get in line with the rest of the states that regulate these kinds of breeders, then I definitely think the program would be incredibly successful.
So is part of the mission next week to enhance the program or just to simply keep it alive?
Well, it's twofold. And this is going to be a fight that we care so deeply about, because 10 years ago, as you know, we really led the fight to put this program in place. And we can't move forward with animal welfare legislation if we're taking steps back. So next week, we hope that we can truly inform the Sunset Commission members on the importance of the program, explain that at the very least, we really need to keep this program and not abolish it because of the reasons we've discussed. But in addition to that, if we are looking at this program, let's make it successful. Let's make it work. 11 breeding females is way too high of a threshold. And the 20 sales per year is incredibly, incredibly difficult to prove. In fact, other states don't even have a sales requirement. So yes, we want to keep it, but if there's any way we can strengthen it, it's the best case for Texas pets and the consumers that purchase these puppies.
Well, Shelby, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much. I hope you wish us best of luck next week. Thank you.